What's up, Lock 22 Nation? It's your boy GOBO here live with Puck University, hashtag PuckU. With me, as always, is my faithful co-host, Tommy Salami Mitchell. Tommy, how are you?
Good. Welcome everybody back to Puck U.
So, a lot going on. We just passed the trade deadline. A whole bunch of stuff going on in the NHL. Let's just dive right into it. Tom, what's a news story that really shook you to your core this last week?
Well, we talked about it last week. One of the big trades was the Patrick Kane trade. So close. He ended up getting traded. Didn't quite make it to the Flyers game, but ended up playing on Thursday, next day, which kind of leads me to my next thing that I kind of wanted to discuss about, which is for people that haven't been watching hockey, it's kind of cool, is how quickly the trades happen and how quickly they play. It's like way different than any other sport out there. He was traded Tuesday, played Thursday. Never seen that in any other sport besides hockey.
Yeah, they don't waste any time. They get them on that plane and they're like, you know what? Get the uniform on. We're gonna rock and roll. I like it. You know, was crazy. The first story I wanted to touch on, the Ritchie brothers, Nick and Brett Ritchie, first brothers ever traded for each other. Nick going from Arizona to Calgary, and then vice versa with Brett. And then they were part of a package deal with Troy Stretcher, Connor Mackey, only brothers ever traded. I mean, kind of a low-key trade, but I mean, what do you like? How would that make you feel? I mean, do you have brothers, Tom?
I do. I do have a brother.
Yeah. So you just straight up like think about it, like your job tomorrow, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna go with the other Mitchell boy, and then you're gonna take over your brother's job.
The funny thing about that too is I read after we figured out this we're going to discuss is it got leaked, so they knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got the call, it was like a big joke. Like, yeah, I'm going to this team. My brother's coming here. Good luck.
wild stuff, man. So I mean, another big trade. All right, the Buffalo Sabres, what are they doing? They're like they're trying to be the other worthwhile sports franchise in Buffalo, following in the Bills' success. They went and got Greenway. They sent a second round pick to Minnesota. They picked up Greenway, shoring up that defense. He's there. They got they got a great offensive core. Sabres are making a push, man. So what's that look like in the Eastern Conference?
That definitely strengthens them because they're what, if I'm not mistaken, they're like third or fourth. I was
gonna say they're a fringe playoff team. They could definitely make some noise. Buffalo out of everybody. That being said, too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. The cool thing with that is he's reunited with the coach that he played for on the national team.
Oh yeah.
So, the coach has got. He played for the U.S. men's national team. I think it's the junior division or up and coming, I guess. And that coach apparently sees potential in him, and he's reunited at the Sabres.
I mean, potential in Greenway is not hard to see. I mean, he's one of the premier defenders in the Western Conference. Now he's in the Eastern. We'll see how he holds up. But good luck to Buffalo. It's a team I'd like to see in the playoffs. I think that they could mix things up. The East is just so powerful this year. I don't know how deep they're going to run it. And then also on the other side, Minnesota, you think sending Greenway would really slow them down, but they had Sunquist, Nyquist, and Johansson at the break. So Minnesota beefing up as well. Then that's one of my conference opponents with the Avalanche, and so like yeah, we're looking it's like it's gonna be a tough push there. So what do you think about Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about them last week a little bit, but and you said the management team wasn't your favorite, but I mean, they're doing a swing. I mean, they're making moves that are crazy to make them go deeper into the playoffs. I mean, I think they're doing some smart things
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the trade deadline.
Yeah, some big swings there for sure, and not moves I was expecting the Wild to make, but yeah, they got a crew together, so we'll see if they can make any noise in the postseason. Um, Up next, Jonathan Quick, future Hall of Fame goalie for the LA Kings. He goes to they send him to the Columbus Blue Jackets right at the trade deadline. He says, I'm not playing for Columbus, and makes them trade him to Vegas. Columbus retains 25% of his salary, and they get a pick out of it. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen this happen where a player is just straight up like, I'm not playing for this team.
I mean, it's a smart move on his part. I mean, Blue Jackets aren't going to be a playoff team
I
most
mean,
likely.
they're in last place.
Yeah, they're dead last. And Vegas, they got to run. I
I
mean,
was like, yeah, Vegas is like second in the Pacific right now. So I mean, they're definitely a playoff team. They're definitely somewhere in that maybe, I know what goal was kind of a question. That being said, Jonathan Quick's like 37. So I mean, he's definitely a big question mark. Can he do it in the postseason like in the past? I just don't know. I think that I think it's a better fit than Columbus. I think that Columbus would be like a swan song. At least here he gets to try to go out with a bang. Um, but
because
I
right
don't
now
know.
I'm looking at the playoffs, and Columbus are last spot in the wild card.
Oh,
So
really?
most likely by the end of the season, they're going to be out.
I was gonna say, yeah,
If we're being real.
Columbus has been terrible this year. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, and then also we're looking at it's the last year of Jonathan Quick's contract. So let's say, what does he have to do in this postseason to get a contract next season, or is he done?
I mean, he's going to get a contract somewhere,
You think
in
so?
my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think that they need to. I think he needs to show that he can show up, like we talked about before. He needs to show up in playoff games.
Right.
He can't just play good in regular season and then tank in the playoffs.
I mean, it's tough because it's like you don't want to give a contract to a player like, oh, uh-oh. All right. All right, pause. Dames, if you can hear this, oh, okay. So yeah, Dames will have you edit that out with a little Max Headroom moment there. Um all right, and then so we'll just do a countdown start again. Three, two. So I think it's tough. Last year of a contract, 37-year-old goalie. I think that there are teams that could really add him for some star power, some ticket sales. I just don't know. I mean, there's a couple of teams that I think, you look at like the lower rung teams, Ottawa, Arizona, um, Columbus, and you look at them and you're like, that could be a potential, those are all potential landing spots for Quick. I just don't see Vegas retaining that salary. I think it's pretty unlikely unless he makes a deep run. Like if they get out of the first round with Quick, I think that he has a chance to get a contract with them. Otherwise, I just don't see him playing for a competitive team.
I probably agree with that. I mean, the same thing happened with Fleury. I mean, he was with the Vegas Knights, didn't take him very deep, and then he gets traded to the Wild.
Wild, and now Yeah, I don't even know. Is Fleury still with the Wild?
I don't know, to be honest.
No, I don't even remember. It's I think that he is, because I think that the Wild waived or they traded another one of their goalies that I thought was significantly better than Fleury, and so that was another one of those things. We always come back to the Wild and their bad personnel moves, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it ends up. Um, Another fun story: Mark Wahlberg making his appearance in the hockey world, talking about his buddy Domi. Um, leaves Chicago, goes down to Dallas, wants to make a cup run. Dallas is another playoff team. Um, and Mark Wahlberg says, excuse my Boston ex, he's like, you're getting a warrior here. You're getting a warrior is what Mark Wahlberg said. So it's like, so two things I want to talk about with this is, number one, Chicago sucks. Like, they are completely punting this. They have completely punted this season. They have just acquired nothing but draft capital and prospects. They don't care about winning. It's a rough place to be. So, Chicago fans, my heart goes out to you. It sucks. So, that being said, Dallas. How much better does this make Dallas having Domi on the roster?
Oh, they just took a huge stride forward.
You think so? Yeah, we played them. The Avalanche played them a couple of nights ago, and Domi, man, he's a great position player. Like, the way that he holds position and holds that blue line when he's on offense is really kind of spectacular. That, and he kind of has that like breakaway wide receiver type of speed. So where you get up there and you can kind of John Elway two-line pass it down to him. You could find breakaways with him. So yeah, he's a good player, man.
Yeah, no, I don't want to bring I don't want to compare him to any like recent players, but to me it's like what you said, he's defensive as far as the blue line goes, and then he's got McDavid speed, as they keep saying every game I've watched. McDavid's, I mean, if he gets the puck, he's gone.
Yep. A lot of speed there. It's something Dallas was maybe holding back on. And like, Dallas is one of those teams that, like, they're dangerous in the regular season, but they don't really find it in the postseason. And I'm looking at it, their record, they have like something like 18 or 19 overtime losses, and so they're generating points by losing in overtime. And it's just like, you got to figure, though, once you get to the playoffs, you don't get any credit for losing in overtime. It's just a
Right.
loss. It's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna go on record. Dallas is probably the best team that's gonna lose in the first round in the playoffs.
I probably definitely agree with you on that statement there.
Yeah. So, all right. So last news story I want to touch on, and this one goes out to our dear producer James Marvs, one of your boys, one of Seattle's own, Jared McCann. 30 goals in the season, first ever Kraken player to do that. You can edit in some confetti or some shit right here to kind of go over that. I know it's your second season in existence, but Jared McCann, 30 goals. Congratulations. So, looking at it right now, Seattle, they're actually playing the Avalanche right now as we're filming this, which we'll talk about here in just a second when we get to the to our talking about our locks of the week from last week. Yeah, he's Seattle, very likely to make the playoffs as well. I think they're sitting in the second or third spot in the Pacific. They're on a 5-game point streak coming into tonight, hoping the Avalanche can shut that down. They're winning right now, but we'll see. Still a lot of game to play. I think they're in the second period. So, what are your thoughts on the Seattle Kraken, Tom?
I thought they were gonna go deep in the playoffs their inaugural season.
Yeah.
I think. Go ahead.
Well, it's something to say about the process with drafting expansion teams. If you look at Vegas, Stanley Cup, Western Conference champions, their first year of existence, like, they're letting if you get the right coach, the right GM, you can pick a system team just from leftovers of from other teams, and you can pick up some of these contracts because you have zero against your salary cap getting started. So it's like, yeah, you look at the players that Seattle picked. Jordan Eberle, Philip Grubauer, um, drafting this McCann kid. I mean, they got room to make a lot of moves, and this is exactly. I mean, if you look at like Vegas when they first started a couple of years ago, it's like they found Marchessault, they got Fleury from the Penguins, like they in his prime, so it's like they found all this room, all this money to make these teams out of it. It's just like, I don't know, is this the best way to draft an expansion team, or does it give them kind of an unfair advantage?
To a point, I think it does give them a little bit of an unfair advantage. I mean, because what do they get I don't really know how the expansion drafts works to a T, but they get, your teams get a certain amount of players that they can hold on to that they say nope, they don't want to be a part of the expansion draft, and then basically you get the leftovers. I mean, you can get some top quality players, like you said, for nothing.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like you can only protect like 18 players on your roster. So if you think about it, you're going to protect all your top line guys unless there's a problematic contract or an uncertain contract, or if you don't think they're going to take them. If you think that they don't fit within the system they're building, then you could kind of gamble and not protect those players. And that's how, the Avalanche lost players like Jonas Donskoy, because they didn't think the Kraken were gonna fit him into the system, and then here we are. Andre Burakovsky, another one. So we're here kind of, I mean, these are second and third line players. These are impact players, and so it's like they make a roster to where it's like their fourth line is almost as good as most teams' second line. I don't know.
Right. Right. No, I agree with that.
I think that there should be I think that they should restrict it up a little bit more just to show. We'll see. I know the league wants to do more expansion. I know Quebec City's hunkering for a team. I know Houston wants a team. So we'll see what happens with expansion in the next couple of years. But good on Jared McCann. He's a very talented young player. We'll see how he does tonight and see if he can put one past old Georgiev for the Avalanche. We're hoping not. So that's a great segue into our next section, team forecast. Tom, tell us about your Penguins.
Yeah, my Penguins. So we play, looks like the Blue Jackets, the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Rangers this week. That's a pretty tough schedule this week for me. You had this tough schedule last week. I got it this week.
Say we kind of flopped.
Blue Jackets, I think we got a chance of winning against. And then the Flyers, again, I'd say that's a 50-50 game. Islanders and Rangers, I have a feeling that those are going to be both probably L column games.
Yeah. So, and yeah, and we kind of swapped because we had Jersey, Dallas, Seattle this week. Struggled. I mean, we'll see if we'll split the weekly series if we can beat Seattle tonight. But yeah, drop a heartbreaker against Jersey, and then we got creamed by Dallas. Kind of struggling. I like the Ehlers trade. I like Ehlers on the Avalanche. I think that he's a good piece. He's kind of that offensively focused defenseman that can move the puck, protect the blue line. I like that about him. We're still facing some goalie woes. Alexander Georgiev, I mean, he's a good starter, but we need depth. And Georgie is really not keeping it together in these long kind of fight him out games. I mean, we'll see how he holds up for the rest of the evening against Seattle. But against Dallas, he just was not in the crease where we wanted him to be. So we really need goaltending to get going. And then we need some of the intangible stuff we need to start controlling. We need Dallas and Minnesota to start losing. which it's funny because we talked about how good those two teams are earlier in this episode, and I need those two teams to. Winnipeg's on a slide, so we're definitely. I think we're still in the playoffs no matter what. But seeding wise, Dallas and Minnesota, I need you guys to stop playing so fucking well. Like it's hurting our pride out here in the mountains. So yeah, like
At least
start.
you're going to be in the playoffs.
I mean, hey, I mean the Pens. You guys didn't you guys win like 5 or 6 in a row or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, I mean, we're still. I mean, we're gonna. To me, it looks like we're gonna make the playoffs. We're number two in the wild card. We
Okay,
did.
yes,
Yeah, we did. We did go on a run. We
yeah,
just
you
have a
guys.
problem with, kind of like the same as you. Is we have Dave Smith that's good, and then when I'm going to slaughter his name, but it's Jari or Yari, I think is his
Oh,
name.
Yari, yeah,
He, he's great in the first couple periods, and then for some reason he just falls off and gives up a bunch of goals at the end of the game.
yeah, yeah. Nuts. Okay, yeah. Seattle just scored, so tie game. Dames just texted me too. Tie game, bitch.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. But anyways, this next week, Avalanche got 3 home games, all against Pacific opponents. Oh, actually, no, I forgot they moved Arizona to the Central. So we're playing the Sharks, the Kings, and the Coyotes. We should win all 3 of those games. I mean, maybe take a loss against the Kings, but we really need these 3, especially looking at Dallas. Dallas is playing Calgary, Seattle, and Buffalo. Those are hard games. And then Minnesota is playing Calgary, Winnipeg, Sharks, and Coyotes. So Minnesota's got 2 back-to-backs. So this is really an opportunity for the Avs to grab some points here and make up some ground. So hopefully they can figure it out. So speaking of gaining ground, figuring it out, our locks of the week from last week. Tom, 3-0.
That's right, baby. That's a great start.
Actually, you know what? I think there's one more game still going. Wait. Let me double check.
No, the Devils won in overtime.
They did. That's right. Okay, yeah. So you went 3-0. I so far am 1-1. My last pick, yeah, because I picked the Vancouver game wrong. You know what? I knew it was going to be a marquee matchup. I didn't think Vancouver was actually going to win though. So it's like Ryan O'Reilly, Austin Matthews, like what the fuck, Toronto? Like get it together. They leafed it. They leafed it again. They didn't leaf it on the ice. So anyways, so yeah, 1-1. Hopefully going 2-1. Dames. The Avs can pull it off tonight. I have a bad habit of always picking the Avalanche as one of my picks as one of my locks of the week. So going in, so no matter what, you're beating me so far. So, but let's talk about this next week and me gaining some ground. So give me your first lock of the week for this next upcoming week here.
All right. First lock of the week. I'm going to stick with the old faithful that just won for me in overtime. Go with the NJD versus the Canadians, and I'm going to pick the Devils to win that one.
You know what's funny? That's my third lock of the week. We picked the same game, Tom. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Montreal's on cruise control. They're not making a push to the playoffs. The Devils have probably one of the best scoring offenses in the league. Oh, goal Colorado. Take that, Dames. Sorry, a little live updates of the Avalanche Kraken game. Yeah, New Jersey's got one of the most prolific scoring offenses in the league right now. They're a great team. They're gonna beat the shit out of Montreal this week. All right. So we got our first. So that's your first lock. That's my third lock. So I'm gonna make you go again. So
Okay.
You tell me your next
one. Vancouver versus Predators, and I picked Vancouver to win that one.
Okay.
Went a little bit bolder this time.
I was gonna say that one's gonna be a little tougher, yeah, because it's in Nashville, I believe. Um, they got UC Saros, they got that really good defenseman. Vancouver, though, they did make some moves at the break, and they can be dangerous. So I mean, yeah, what do you like about the Canucks in this game
I watched the game that they won. I think it was like they blew them out this
on
week.
Thursday
They
against
just,
Toronto?
yeah, I think that was the game, and they just played lights out. I mean, it just seemed like they ran the ice the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst pick. I mean, and yeah, like I said, Nashville, they got a couple of pieces, but they're still a couple of pieces away. I mean, I don't think they're a playoff team, so I think that it's definitely doable. All right. Well, I'll give you one of my locks. And once again, I'm picking the Colorado Avalanche, obviously, in a matchup against a Pacific opponent. Again, that's going to be against the San Jose Sharks. Another one, Sharks, totally cruise control. They got, you know, aside from like Tomas Hurdle, I don't really know anybody who plays for the Sharks anymore.
They got the
Uh,
good defender Carlson. He
oh,
he
Carlson,
didn't get
yeah.
traded.
And yeah, so I honestly like I'm not worried about that game whatsoever. It's at Ball Arena. It's on a Tuesday night. I think we should be able to take that game. If we lose that game, I think the Avs are in more trouble than I think they are. Because yeah, it's one thing to lose to Dallas and New Jersey, but yeah, you can't go out there and just lay an egg against San Jose. All right. So who is your last lock of the week, Mr. Tom?
Well, I did pick the Sharks,
You picked the Sharks
but I actually picked them to win.
against who?
The Blues, of course.
Ah,
The only thing
I
that's
was
makes me
I was like,
that one is that is a Blues that is at St. Louis.
it is at St. Louis. It's a bolder pick, but you know what? The Blues are garbage fire this year. They definitely have completely sold all of the team resources. So you know what? Maybe a good pick. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. You're 3-0. I can't really judge your picks right now. All right. And then my
Next
last
week.
my last pick, you're gonna like this. Your Pittsburgh Penguins at home against the Blue Jackets.
I was
Uh,
tossing up. I was tossing that up to pick
I
that
was
game.
like, yeah, Pittsburgh's won 6 of 7. Columbus is in last place. They had Jonathan Quick for 10 minutes. Pittsburgh's making a push to the postseason. So you know what? Sid the Kid, Evgeny Malkin. You got a whole slew of Penguins flopping around there. So yeah, let's get it. Let's get a win. Get a win for the Go. All right. Cranking along. We got our locks of the week. Talked about news. Last thing, top plays. Tommy, what blew your mind in the NHL this last week?
Well, I had a couple of them. First of all, Matthews had to leave the ice after taking a block to the knee. It was a sweet block. Unfortunately, I don't think he ended up coming back in the game for that one.
Austin Matthews from Toronto.
Yes.
Eek.
Yeah, he took. I mean, it was a sweet play. I was actually watching the game. Um, Dove or slid down, took a puck to the knee. From what it looked like, I think that's what they said. And then he left the ice. I don't believe he came back. What was your top play? And then I'll come back to my last top play.
You know, I got a couple. I got a couple. I'll start out with some of my honorable mentions. And I hate to do it. Kirill Kaprizov, Kirill the Thrill, with the hat trick. I hate the kid, but he's so talented. For Minnesota, he gets out there every night. Also, Anze Kopitar had a game where he scored 4 goals in this last week. It's super hard to do, and most of them were slappers too, like just sniping them out there. So yeah, Kopitar, hell yeah. Um, but before I get to my top play, probably my second favorite play. I don't know if you saw this, but Washington, Lingrid, their goalie, made a save against Buffalo with the blade of his skate. Like,
Oh, I did see that one.
yeah, he kicks out his leg. The puck hits his skate blade, knocks the blade off. The puck goes out of the net, so it doesn't score. And then the Buffalo gets the rebound, and Lingrid somehow like flops back over with one skate and makes a blocker save on the other side. Outstanding,
Wow.
absolutely outstanding. So, a lot of fun to watch. I'm a big goalie guy, so the big goalie plays I'm a big fan of. So tell me what was your number one play of this last week?
My number one player. Let's see if I can find it. For some reason, I didn't write down the team that he played for. Yamamoto scores twice in 40 seconds.
Oh yeah. Yeah, who does Yamamoto play for again? Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. And I'm looking it up. Uh,
Edmonton.
that's right.
Yep, that's who it was for. Yep.
Yeah, scores twice in 40 seconds. Yeah, that was something. But I'll tell you what, Tom, you probably already know what my top play is. Audience, you probably already know. It's only the 13th time it's ever happened in NHL history. Linus Ullmark with the goalie goal. And it's funny because it happened in the NHL and then it happened in the AHL like the next night. The goalie for the Chicago Wolves scored a goal as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Totally crazy. So Ullmark clears it. He tried to they interviewed him. They said that this is the second time he's tried to score. The first time was against your Penguins in the Winter Classic.
yeah.
And he missed it. But he did not miss in this one, and this was against Vancouver as well. And yeah, he cleared it, and he got it in there, and good on him. Love the goalies, love the goalie goals. So outstanding stuff. So we talk about our top plays. Anything else? Good of the order. We're talking hockey. A lot of crazy stuff happening post trade deadline. Now we're going to look at the playoff push. Who's in? Who's out? Tommy, what are you thinking, man? What other hockey news or hockey thoughts are going through that little head of yours?
I was honestly going to ask you because one of the trades that I was kind of watching, we talked about him just a little bit ago, was Carlson from the Sharks. They had talked about moving him, and he had a no move clause, I believe, in his contract as well. And as the deadline got closer, come to the attention that they never asked him to waive it. So did that mean that they never intended on trading him, period? Or are they just kind of waiting to see if he just goes away next year?
A no trade clause is something they put in an NHL contract to say that like your team is dedicated to your personal success. And it's something that can be negotiated from the player side or the team side. With Carlson's no trade clause, I think the reason they're moving it is just because he's going. Now, remind me, is he going from San Jose to Edmonton or vice versa?
No, so they ended up. If I'm
That's right, because he's going from the Sharks.
No, I don't think he ended up getting traded.
That's right, yeah, because he can't. Yeah, because he's got that no trade clause. So,
and then they never discussed it with him.
That's right. Okay, so basically, I think that at this point, like they've already taken the salary cap hit in San Jose, so they're like, there's no logistical reason to trade him because they're especially to a team like Edmonton, they're not going to accumulate that much capital from. Because Edmonton's not going to give up a marquee name. They're not going to send Um, they're not going to send a Yamamoto or Connor McDavid or anybody. They're not going to give up, one of their top line guys. And Edmonton doesn't really have the depth to do that. So it's like it would only be like a benefiting one team type of trade. And so I can see why San Jose would kind of implement that and kind of hold that, because you can move a player with a no trade clause. It just takes a lot of negotiating and a lot of capital from the other team coming in. So yeah, Carlson's going to be kind of stuck. We'll see how they negotiate his contract next year. If he's going to stay a Shark, if they're going to move him. I mean, you got to keep somebody on their roster to keep those ticket sales together.
Right, that was my point. Yeah, they.
I mean, yeah, because we don't know anybody else who plays for San Jose. So yeah, honestly, Carlson, good luck to you, man. It's going to be a long off season. So that being said, it will not be a long off season for the next episode of Puck University, #PuckU. To catch us, I believe the show airs on every Monday. We film on Sunday nights. And then, yeah, make sure you're checking out the rest of the lineup on Lock 22 Productions. We got our comic show. We got a huge wrestling show. There's a big wrestling pay-per-view going on right now. So make sure you check out those guys. And I think it's with Two Marks and a Spark, I believe is the name of the show. They're going to be talking about the new wrestling pay-per-view. So make sure you catch that. And then stay tuned to Lock 22 Productions. For lots of other new content. And like I said, if you have ideas for content, you have ideas for formatting, if you'd like to be a guest on one of our shows, please feel free to reach out to us. And we definitely appreciate the patronage. Tom, you got anything else for our lovely viewers before we take off for the evening?
Yeah, like he said, just follow us on all of our social media, YouTube, Facebook. We got a Facebook page. Share us with your friends. We'd like to get input from everybody, see what we can do to make the show better for you guys.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, go team, go hockey, go Canada, as it were. So, all right, guys, have a great evening. Thank you so much for watching Puck University, #PuckU, and we will catch you next time.
See ya.